Have you ever wanted to set a boundary, voice a preference, or finally say no to someone, but you just bit your tongue because something inside of you said, if you say something right now, what if it doesn't work out? So then you hesitate. Your mind might go into the worst case scenario. You picture them getting angry, looking at you like you're difficult, or the entire relationship shifting. So, in order to protect the peace, you swallow your words, put on a smile, and you tell yourself, it's fine, I'll just deal with it. Does that sound familiar? If we haven't met before, my name is Christina Solis, and I help you find your words, feel heard, and step into your power. That fear that standing up for yourself is going to backfire is one of the biggest walls that keeps well-meaning, caring people like you trapped in silence. You convince yourself that staying quiet is the safest, most loving option. You're doing it for them, right? But I want you to look at a completely different perspective for a second. What if your silence isn't actually protecting your connection? What if avoiding that temporary awkwardness is actually the very thing that's putting things at risk? Now, if you're looking to avoid the right then conflict and not make anyone uncomfortable, staying silent will help you with that. But that only solves the temporary problem. It doesn't do you any favors in the long run. When you swallow your truth to avoid a conflict, your emotion around it doesn't just magically vanish. You just bury it while it's still screaming. Every single time you accommodate someone at your own expense, you're packing away a tiny brick of resentment into your subconscious mind. And then eventually, those hidden bricks are going to build a massive wall between you and the person that you're trying so hard to keep happy. You might stay quiet for weeks, months, or even years, until one day you hit your absolute breaking point. And instead of letting a little bit of pressure out of your Instapot, the lid completely comes off and there's an explosion. That explosion is what actually backfires and damages the relationship, not the boundary itself. The irony is that by trying so hard to prevent a small, uncomfortable conversation today, you can almost guarantee a massive destructive explosion in the near future. And let me tell you, I know what that's like. I went through that exact cycle in my work life for quite a few years. Back when I was starting to build my massage therapy practice, I was operating from a place of total accommodation. In the early days, I took every single appointment that came my way because I felt like I had to. I was building a business. I needed the money. I wanted more clients to come to me. I remember there were nights where I would leave work around 8:30. I didn't want to start super early, like 10, 11 a.m. because, who wants a massage at 8 a.m. anyway? But if one random person did call and want a massage at 9 a.m., I would do it. Now, granted, as my business got really established and my schedule filled up, that old MO didn't change. So I would look at my calendar and I would see that I was at my total limit for the week. I knew that I could handle 3 clients a day if I wanted to give them my best energy and protect my own physical body. But then a client would text and asked if they could be squeezed in because they had this emergency pain or they were going out of town or whatever the case was. I was a healer. My job was to make people feel better. So how in the world was I going to say no, right? Plus, my previous scarcity mindset from those building days would creep in. I need this appointment. I'm not going to turn down business. And of course, I was building relationships with my clients, so I wanted to do right by them. So of course, I scheduled them. I stretched my limits. I sacrificed my days off. I told myself that doing one client on my day off wasn't that big of a deal. It was still a day off. It would just be like running an errand, right? But then when I was looking to squeeze someone in last minute, I saw that I was already in the office on my day off, so I might as well just do 2 clients in that one day, right? I mean, if you're already there. I tried to convince myself that I might as well go in for 2 better than going in for 1, because you still have to pack the sheets, load the car, do the things. I'm actually being more efficient, right? I know what's best. It worked. It worked for a time. I made people happy. I made good money. And I got tendinitis. And I was exhausted. Now, I was able to eventually balance things out. And I saw how 15 clients a week was my maximum. Whether it was 2 clients in a single day, 3, 1 here, 3, I could balance it out. What I saw was avoiding that short-term discomfort of saying, I'm fully booked this week. Let's look at next week. That didn't save my business. It actually almost broke me. I had to learn the hard way that clear boundaries don't push people away. And by going through those small moments of setting boundaries, I could preserve my energy for the long term. I ended up keeping my practice for 14 solid years, something I'm so super proud of. And I never grew to resent it. I loved it. The only thing that took me away from it were the spinal tumors that almost killed me. But my relationship with my clients, my love for the work, all of that is still there. My clients grew to respect me and my boundaries, and I would do it all over again. So how can you really keep your work life or your personal connections, your family, how can you keep those intact and strong without things backfiring? And I think it starts with a massive upgrade to how you define a successful conversation as opposed to a ruined one. Right now, your brain might be thinking that a successful interaction means everybody's comfortable. It maybe thinks that if the other person feels a flash of disappointment or if the atmosphere gets a little heavy, the situation is done. It's over, or you can never fix it again. But keep this in mind. A successful conversation is not one where everyone stays perfectly comfortable. A successful conversation is where you speak your truth with kindness and the other person hears it. When you use your voice to clearly state your boundaries or preferences, you're doing your part. And if you do deliver your truth respectfully, and then the other person chooses to throw a tantrum, shut down, punish you with silence, that's not proof that your assertiveness backfired. That's actually showing you the maturity level of the person sitting across from you. Their reaction is on their side of the tennis court, and it's not on you to step over the line and do something about it. So the next time you're tempted to swallow your words because you're terrified of a backfire, I want you to run a little bit of a mental check. Ask yourself this question. Am I choosing comfort in the moment or the long-term health of the situation? Are you prioritizing what the next 60 seconds are going to feel like? Or are you going to push through for 60 seconds and make it a long-term investment that will pay you back with interest? Retraining your nervous system to choose the long-term over the right now does take a little bit of practice. It means learning how to handle the physical adrenaline spikes that tell you to freeze and back down, but you don't have to go it alone, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel and figure it all out. If you're ready to stop letting the fear of rocking the boat keep you quiet, I want to invite you into my free 4-day bootcamp, The Foundations of Assertiveness. Inside, you and I are going to break down these exact internal blocks, look at the physical steps that will steady your system, and give you the tools to stand your ground safely, clearly, and without the emotional hangover or regret. Click the link down below in the description to secure your free spot, and day 1 will get sent straight to your inbox right away. You are entirely capable of speaking up and seeing a situation that doesn't blow up. I can be right here with you. Talk to you soon.